today is going to be pull session, and I managed to get my Wi-Fi to work in here because there's no signal around here for some reason, so I can use my app on this phone now, so I don't have to use the whiteboard to transcribe everything, which makes it much more convenient for me for tracking stuff. So that's obviously a positive. Now, I don't know if you'll have noticed or not, but sometimes I'm wearing the braces, sometimes I'm not. At the minute, my legs are really sore today. So yesterday, I finished that session quite abruptly on the video. My knees got really sore all of a sudden, and so I just stopped that session. I ended up not actually doing any more squats after that. I went in, they were too sore to stretch. I ended up actually taking some stronger pain relief than what I had intended to, just because they were, just giving me grief. And then today, I was going to say I woke up, and then obviously you wake up every day. If you don't wake up, then I wouldn't be here. Really sore again. And so I just thought, just to be sensible, I've put the braces on and got them on for today. So today's a pull session anyway. And I'm wearing these, obviously. So, what the plan is going to be is pull-ups, 2 sets. Nothing crazy. I think I did 5 reps was like my baseline. I didn't do any weight on that. And then I think I did 10 kilos just for 1 rep. So what I'll probably do today is add 2.5 kilos and see if I can do sets of 5. Just like real nice and steady progression. And this is my warm-up. That was my sternum. That cracked. Don't know if you could hear that. And then after that, do some pull downs and some rows. And the braces seem to be riding up. The Velcro is like scratching the back of my leg. I don't know where my straps have gone. I don't know if they've been lost in the whole move. And I know like there's a whole thing of don't wear straps, it's bad for your grip or whatever. But if you don't wear straps and then your grip is limited, then you can't train the body parts you want to train because your grip is a limiting factor. That just seems very silly, just for the sake of an ego thing of not wearing straps. Now don't get me wrong, when you're deadlifting and stuff, if you've got competition deadlift in your program, then you should do it the way you compete. So if you compete without straps, then you shouldn't be wearing straps. If it specifically says competition deadlift, and you need to bear that in mind with any of your programming, what the intent of the movement is. It's very rare that most people would program deadlifts as a grip exercise. If you did, you'd probably be doing double overhand, or you'd have a specified hold. But anyway, with that said, it's not going to be a problem right now, but as the loads go up, then grip will be a limiting factor for me, because I'm still obviously I'm being careful with the progression on stuff. But eventually it's going to be a problem. I'll probably find them somewhere. They'll be in some random place. I keep looking for that. I keep looking at that thinking that's going to be where my program is, when it's not. It's down there on my phone. So I want to get at least 3 reps with this. Ideally 5 to 10 would be better. I think that this is probably going to fall off a couple of times again. I didn't think about that when I trimmed my beard. Anyway. Four. That will do as a first set. So even then, my grip felt like the limiting factor, not my back, but it's fine. Like I said about just trying to do a little bit more each time. Last week on this session, I did 2 to 5 with body weight, and then I did pull downs. So this week, I did 4 with 5 kilos. I'll do one more set. That's not 5, that's 2.5. Whoops, 2.5. Done. And we've got the auto rest timer going. So this will tell me to stop being lazy. Speaking of being lazy, today's steps has been like 200 or something like that. So not many. But mostly because it's been a problem of pain today rather than inability to move. And my knees have been incredibly stiff. I think it's just a consequence of the week of doing more and more and more. That's just going to happen, isn't it, with rehab? So I've got one more session of the week tomorrow. I say one, tomorrow will be a double session because I'll be doing some at the gym in the morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test a 2K ski. That's like a decent distance to try out. So unfit but exercises time, 10 minutes maybe. And not bad time would be like 8 minutes. Pretty fast would be 7 minutes. Very fast is any below that. Like elite world class is going to be like anything sub 6:15. Sub 6, I don't know off the top of my head. That's like the elite of the elite on the ski. Although saying that, the last time I was like into ski stuff and the cardio stuff was like 5+ years ago. So things will have changed a lot over time. Because the ski's not been around as long as the rower. Right then. Second set. See how many we can do this time. Just 3. So, I know it's not very impressive, but just got to start from where I'm at. And this time, with all the progressions and stuff, like I say, I'm just going to go nice and steady. I've got them both down as a set of 4 and a set of 3 at an RP of 7. I think I could have done 3 more reps on both of those sets. You might disagree, but the good thing is you're not here, so you can't say anything about it. Over time, this is going to need to be significantly better. It's weather's getting better, which is obviously great. It's nicer, warmer, but now hands are getting slippery. Chalk would be handy. I don't even know where the chalk is gone, because everything got rearranged whilst I was in the hospital, and not by me. So I don't know where everything's been put, and I maybe could get in there, but there's like a big step down on the other side. I don't know how well I'd be able to navigate it. I don't particularly fancy falling over in there when there's nobody else around. Like Rach is out, so I'm just at home by myself, which for training is not a problem now. But don't want to risk anything, you know, just being sensible. That's really awkward. So anyway, pull down, just swapping these out for the 20s, because with the 10s on, there's not enough weight to actually pull me down into position. And then, like I said last time, I was doing 40 for some reps of some sets. So I'm just going to stick with that, but slightly increase the volume. And then after that, I'm going to see if I can do some barbell rows. Obviously my balance is going to be a factor for that, so we'll see how that goes. Right, I think I can leave that bar there, and that won't be too much of a problem. And with the rows themselves, with the pull downs themselves, I'm not like trying to just load up on the weight. I think I'd rather add more and more load, because the more weight I add to it, the more chance of me needing to get something to like weigh myself down. So I've got a bar that comes across here, but then that'll be pressing on my legs, and they're still tender to touch. So we've got, last time I did 40 for 11 and 9. So this time I'm going to do 3 sets. So I'm going to aim for an average of 10. We'll start with doing a set, obviously. real informative stuff. Okay, I can pull myself a bit further. I didn't think about this. Fudge. Okay, so I don't think I can go that close to it because standing up then was super awkward. I think I need to keep sat back a bit further so I can keep my feet on this side of it, because I might have slightly panicked then. I'm trying to get back up. I think that was 12. Yeah, I'm going to have to sit further back because I don't want to get stuck like that and risk twisting something. I'm glad I put these on today. Don't tell Rachel about this. She's not home, so it's fine, and I know she won't watch this. You watch, this will be the video that she decides to watch. So, set rest timer going for a minute. Not that there's anything magic about a minute, but just keep me on track so I don't go too soon. What I've been doing today is some stuff for the business. The gym is officially sold, so that's cool. I'm keeping ASC Performance, the brand, the name, but the gym itself is now sold. So that's cool that's dealt with. Still got some stuff to do with accounts and whatnot, but like everything else, like contract perspective and stuff like that, it's all done now. So now I can actually say something. So that means that now I will be full-time coaching my athletes. So coaching people to basically get jacked and massively lean and strong. I realise I don't look like that myself right now. I was going to say I've got an excuse. It's not an excuse because it was on purpose. I purposely kept eating loads to help with recovery. So, ooh, that's fizzy. I don't think that's okay. Definitely not going to drink the rest of that. I think I made this yesterday and not finished it. But anyway, so from the gym, this is why we've got all the random extra bits and pieces appearing. So for example, one of the things that we've got is this, which is cool, was the plaque, one of the plaques that we had outside. I thought that had Rachel's number on, it doesn't, so that's good. So I'm going to use this to make a thumbnail for the YouTube video like this. So I've done that now. So that'll be the thumbnail. You watch, I won't have done it close enough or done it too close to the camera or something. But what that means is everything now is online. So I've got some random bits and pieces of kit, stuff that wasn't included in the sale, like the sign, obviously. Most of this stuff was already mine, like personally, but there's a few just like random things, where are and were mine that were just at the gym. So yeah, it's cool. And I'll run through the business model at some point. So if anybody's interested, you can know. And if anybody actually wants some help getting super strong, then you'll know how you can work with me. It's actually quite simple. You basically just ask. But I'll show you the plan and the model for acquiring customers as well. Not right now, obviously. That's better. Can actually stand up. 10 reps, that felt good. About the same level of difficulty as the previous set of 12. It definitely is slightly different exercise, but like for all intents and purposes, it doesn't really matter right now. Maybe if I was trying to get like, I don't know, target a hyper-specific muscle or something to step on stage, then it might matter. But I'm not. I just like trying to get back in shape. Well, I say trying, I am. I'm on day 6 of basically starting training again. So my weight has actually stayed the same, roughly, this week. But I suspect part of that's just from refilling with glycogen and water actually in the muscles. Probably an element of stress to the body as well, holding water. I mean, obviously, there's still loads of fat as well, that's part of it. But the plan isn't just get as lean as possible, as quickly as possible. The plan is to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. To a certain extent, yes. Not to a like deluded level. So obviously I've had more muscle and less fat. So as I just restart training and stuff, that balance will shift ever so slightly before I actually have to make a big effort one way or the other. So at the minute I'll be in a very small deficit, but that probably isn't going to show up in a week of numbers, but over 2-3 weeks it'll probably start to show. And as my activity goes up, as I can do more and more, obviously that deficit is going to end up being smaller without needing a significant reduction in calories. So I mean I can still eat quite a lot, so like appetite's not a problem at all. I wouldn't expect it to be, I'm only 6 days in. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this at the minute. So if you want to see like a weekly check-in, if you go to my Instagram at Dr. Adam Sawyers, just DR, then each week I'm just doing a little, like basically just a little check-in, and then answering whatever questions I've had. Partly, I was going to say keep myself accountable, but I'm going to do it anyway. But if it helps just one person, then it's worth doing, isn't it? And it's good just to have a log of these things for future me. So I've already got these videos, but if I wanted to go through all of these videos to find something, it's quite a lot. This is a good thing to have for when I'm 70 and we've got virtual reality everything, and I can be like, let me pretend I was 30 again and do all this sort of stuff. But the Instagram ones will be easier to just find and look at and just progress week to week to week. And to be honest as well, if I can get back in shape, given this situation, then it should act. Some people will take this offensively, but it should act as like, if you're struggling to get in shape and still not getting in shape, you should be able to see that like it is still possible, even if you've got injuries and stuff. Anyway, last set. So as a minimum, I want 8. 9. That was all right. I think I could have probably done another 3, so about happy 7-ish. You'll notice as well that I'm being very lazy as usual and just going to sort of between 1 and 5 reps from failure. So that's all I need to do at the minute, and then as training progresses over time, I will gradually add volume, intensity and load. Not all 3 every week necessarily, as and when it's needed. So next up, barbell rows. Right, what's going to be the best way of doing this? I wonder if I can even move one of those bars into place. So I've got some more barbells here. I've got a deadlift bar. I've got bumper 20s, which were put in the shed rather than in here so that I can't get them to use them. But let's see if I can do this. Not gonna lie, that was actually quite hard, but not hard from a training my back perspective, hard from a balance perspective. So I think I'm going to keep that in, but as like a balance movement and as my deadlifting movement. I'm going to change it from a normal barbell row. I'm going to do flexion rows, so a bit of a bend. I'll do that for a few weeks, all months, see how progression goes. I was writing out the programming earlier on so that I had it all on my app, and what I've ended up doing is writing the training block but only saving it as a template so that then I can go back afterwards to edit it, because it's going to change. So like for example, I was going to do barbell rows, but that's not going to be heavy enough to actually train my back in the way I wanted a barbell row to, but it will be heavy enough to do a flexion row with it, and at the same time accomplish the goal of the balance side of things, which is not a bad thing. And because I want to be able to deadlift as well, so tomorrow I was considering trying deadlifting, but just doing this will work to serve that purpose instead. So I think I'll do that. Let me just find a flexion row. Barbell flexion row. Swap. Yeah, so that's it for that. So we're just going to stick with 20 kilos for this one. And then after this, we'll just do curls and rehab, basically. Let's see how it goes. I took them sandals off because really awkward. The squishiness of them and the squishiness of the rubber. Basically a deadlift. Feels alright actually, even the deadlift did. So even if I could deadlift properly, I would want to get, I was just going to say I would want to get those mats out, but I've got more mats in here. So all the plates were put on top of the mats down there so that I can't get the mats out to deadlift. So it was almost like a precautionary thing to stop me from deadlifting. I feel like a child, but it's true. I would definitely want to deadlift. I mean, I'm literally grassing on myself right now by putting this in the video. It is what it is. So tomorrow will be in the morning at the gym. I'm going to do a 2k on the ski erg. See how I feel after that. I might be too tired to do much else. I will do more, obviously. Do some stretching. I'll do some hamstring curls. With the hamstring curls, it's trying to get the range of motion as deep as I can. I'm finding it much easier to do that with load than without. And then I also have just normal rehab to do. Whether I do that at the gym or in here, I don't know. If there's no video on YouTube from me tomorrow, that means that I just did it at the gym in the morning. If there is, then that means I did it at home and you'll see it. So that's that. The coaching stuff that I was talking about. So what I'm doing is splitting my service up into 3 different options. So there's cheap, medium and expensive, and basically it's to do with how much actual access you get to me. So the expensive one, get more access to me. I will do more things directly for you, which makes sense. Medium one is the best for 99.9% of people, and the cheaper one is you'll get what's probably better to be called passive coaching rather than active coaching. So with the very cheapest option, you get access to the members area and you'll get access to all of my programming, but I will not be writing individual program for you. With that said, I will be writing, the aim is at least 1 new program per month. So if you have a specific program request, then I can write it for you. But obviously over time, that library will get built up. You will have access to me in the members area, so there won't be like a one-to-one thread. You'll get technique reviews from me directly, but again, that will be in the members area, so it won't be private. So it'll be still confined to inside the members area, so not out for the public. Then, like the next step up, the medium level. So the names for them is going to be the team coaching, which is the coaching member site app. Then basics but better coaching, which is what 99% of my athletes use anyway. So you still have the one-to-one access. Your program is your program. It's not anybody else's. It's like I've written it specifically for you. You still get technique reviews, everything else. The difference between that and the premium, or the biggest difference, is we don't have any one-to-one calls unless it's something that I think we need, but that's not included as a standard. Whereas with the premium, we do, because for basically all of the strength athletes I work with, it's not needed. And because there's group calls, like you can jump on and chat to me, and there's not really anything from a private perspective. I guess the exception is like if you're talking about like something health related or super sports performance related and that sort of thing, that's where the premium is going to be more relevant. And sometimes people basically just want like mentoring, so more education than there is already in the members area. I realise this probably wasn't much of a pitch, but this is not so much me trying to sell anything, and I kind of use this just to empty my brain. So what I've been doing today is sorting out some automations so that I can help more people for free with different things. But the thing is, when talking to people about different things, you kind of have to pitch it at the appropriate level. So if somebody doesn't know what a set is, then you have to make sure they understand that first. So people will come across my stuff at different levels of understanding. I'm trying to make it so there's a way for people to come from different levels of understanding and get to what's appropriate for them, instead of just making it so that some people don't understand it, some people it's too basic. Just making it the right level. I mean, basics but better is the main kind of coaching I do, because most people don't even do the basic stuff properly. Anyway, good thing about this flooring is I can see the sweat marks of where my foot stance was, make it nice and repeatable. This is great for the spine. good. I feel a real good stretch in the back doing that, and a good pump. Loading wise, it's not too bad either. I'm not even having to like change the rep scheme or anything too much. So 20 kilos, set number 3, done. Next up we have preacher curls. So pop these back on so I don't end up standing on some sawdust or something. I need to clean in here, but as soon as the doors open, all the crap from outside just blows back in. So it's not actually very good. I should probably just start putting trainers on. To be fair, it is really awkward to get my trainers on at the minute, but I can do it. And even before my accident, I wouldn't put my trainers on to come in here as much as I could avoid it. So it's not like that's an actual good reason to not do it. So for the preach curls, this has been quite a good attachment to have for that actually. I've been doing these standing. I haven't written down the height. I'm gonna guess this height. Yeah, that'll do. 6 kilos I did for 9, so we'll go 6 kilos. Always start with my right arm because that arm is worse, so it just makes it easier. And you know the main reason I'm doing this is just to get massive biceps, nothing to do with quad rehab. I believe that was 10 reps. So the first time I've noticed in a session my heart rate and my breathing coming up. And I realise that's ridiculous because it's curls, but I think it's good that the cardio is potentially, it could just be placebo, but I do feel, I wouldn't say I feel fitter, but I feel significantly less unfit. That was alright. I think I could do it with 7, but not an 8, and I've got an 8 and not a 7. So the nice thing about doing these though is that it doesn't really take too much in the way of rest time because it is so light, and with doing them single arm it makes it straightforwards. So I would say that was RP7 again. I think I told you about my goals yesterday in terms of what I actually want to do with lifting and stuff, at least in the medium term. So in terms of like getting some bench PBs and that sort of stuff. If you're still watching at this point, then sorry. It's boring, isn't it? Nice and steady. If you are somebody that is still watching, can I just ask why? What is it about these videos that you enjoy watching? Because I've noticed some videos, so obviously my channel's tiny. I mean, it's just over 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. But some videos get like 65 views. Some videos get like 5,000 views. Some videos it's more. No real, to my uneducated eye, there's no real rhyme or reason. And I'm not like actively making an effort to try and get people to click for the sake of it. Like, the titles aren't very exciting, it's just whatever it actually is. And for those of you that do keep watching, why? What stuff do you actually like to see? Because now that my focus is the online business full time, it obviously means I'm going to need to make an effort with this kind of thing. So it's useful to know what you find useful to watch. Right. Should do more. So the thing with biceps is they're such a small muscle, at least mine are, but you can do loads for them until they actually get big and strong, and then it's just like training them a big and strong thing. And I am very much not big and strong at the minute. This is very lackluster. It's boring, and like I wanna do more, but I know that I shouldn't. It's like I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be sensible and carry on, even though it's boring. But I don't wanna. I wanna do something more interesting. I've heard somewhere that doing the basic stuff is useful. But doing curls to like nowhere near a fun intensity is just not interesting. That's it. Curls done. Simples. Next up, I've got quad rehab. I don't have high hopes about this today, just because my knees are already hurting. let's have a look and see what I've got. I'm saying that as if it's going to be anything radically different. It's basically the same thing every day, just slightly changing the intensity, but I'm changing that day by day based on how the session is. So let's get cracking here. What I think I might do is start on this higher box to the see, that's pretty sore, even just to there, and it's not just like aching or uncomfortable, it's crossed over into the painful feeling. I'm real torn on carrying on and doing it versus letting it rest. So if I'm using my wanting to train, this desire to train, motivation, whatever, is that I want to just push through it, my brain logically is like, this seems like a bad idea to push through. Yeah, I think let's weigh this up. Right, so if I won't sit on there because that might spin, but that's it. Right, so that's the thing as well, I can sit with my legs bent and that's not too painful. It's the extension of my knee that's hurting. So that, to be fair, is painful even with no load, and it's painful on both sides, not just the side that normally is. So that's making me think that maybe that's not a good idea. I think what I'm going to do, because it's like lunchtime roughly, I'm going to have a rest, I'm going to have some pain relief, and then I'm going to do some calf raises, some calf raises and some single leg balances, but once I've had some pain relief, so the pain from my actual knee is not impacting my ability to train my feet and my calves, so that way then I can at least get some benefits without the negative effects. So what I'm not doing, and making sure I'm not doing moving forwards, is taking pain relief before I train, before I do rehab. So if I was taking pain relief and then just training my upper body, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to take pain relief, then do knee rehab, then not realise that I've gone beyond uncomfortable into pain. And I'm not being a wimp with the pain. Like, I know the difference between the two. So I think this is probably the most logical thing to do. And then, yeah, because if I'm causing grief to it, so what's happened is, yesterday I probably just done too much, because I trained on the morning and I came in here and I trained on the afternoon. In the morning, although I wasn't directly doing quad rehab, I did train my hamstrings and I did stiff leg deadlifts and I did sled, so that's a lot of knee stuff. Then in the evening, when I came in here try and do the squats, I, on one of the squats, went from uncomfortable to painful, and then that pain got worse over the evening. So today that pain is not as bad as it was, but I can still feel it there. I think I've just pushed it a little bit much, so now I should probably let it rest a little bit, so that then it feels okay tomorrow or whatever, to make more progress long term. It's very frustrating. Like, just want it to work, but what can you do? I mean, don't tear your quads. It's probably helpful, wouldn't it? So yeah, that we've got a plan. I've got a plan. This is where it would be good to have someone objective to be like, just do this or just do that. The problem is, I've not been able to find anybody who I actually trust to give me that information. And so I'm ending up making these decisions myself, and although that's fine and logically I can do it, it doesn't help in the moment when you're not feeling, when you're feeling rather than thinking, and not being logical. So I think I'm being extra strict about it to make sure that I'm not I'm doing anything stupid. So this is me not doing anything stupid, because doing stupid things wins you stupid prizes. And then I'll see you maybe tomorrow, if not Monday. Thanks for watching. Take care.